Welcome back to Unplugged. We're back with a brand new episode, and today I'm joined with Elle-Louise Wilmot. She is the founder of Truly Twenties. So Elle, do you want to kick us off and tell us a little bit about you and your business, Truly Twenties?
Yeah, of course. So Truly Twenties is a social media community. I made it in 2020 just before lockdown. The whole aim was to have a podcast, but when lockdown hit, I was like, I'll just build a community in the meantime, not knowing it would last about a year or 2 years, whatever it lasted. And I've just built the community organically since then across platforms. It's kind of shifted from when we started. It was just relatable content at the time, but in like year one, after we opened up from lockdown, I realized that people were quite lonely in their 20s. So I'm now trying to connect 20-somethings with themselves and each other. So we're doing events and stuff and retreats and holidays to help everyone make new friends.
Amazing. So let's talk about having a community in 2024. I feel like it's a real buzzword, but how important is it really?
Yeah, it is definitely a big buzzword, but it's so important in every aspect of your life. Like, community is the people that, it can mean so many different things. Your community can be people that are championing you behind closed doors. So like I was speaking about it in my speech about the people on LinkedIn that are championing me without me noticing, and they're putting me forward for things, or they're backing me up and helping me get other roles online. So you can have community for your career. Having community for Truly Twenties is more that so that people feel that they're not alone in any thought that they have. I think sometimes you feel like you're the only person going through this thing in life or having this thought, and then having a community online of people that relate to you, you can post and realize, okay, it's not just me going through this. Other people have gone through it, have got through it, and so can I. So yeah, it is super important. People need connection these days. They need to know that they're not alone in any thought that they have, and I think that's what communities bring.
Yeah, no, for sure. So what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced in the early stages of building Truly Twenties, and how did you overcome them?
I don't think I've ever stopped facing challenges, but I think some of the first ones was just navigating how to monetize, and I'm still facing that. I think it's quite hard to monetize as a community rather than being a creator. I think brands are still working out like the power of communities. A lot of brands are still putting money towards standalone influencers, and a lot of times influencers get their following first and then build a community. But me and a lot of other communities that I'm friends with have done it the other way. Like, I'm not an influencer on my own right, I've just got Truly Twenties, so I haven't got those brand connections, and proving that community over just like a standalone profile is powerful, is quite hard. So I definitely struggled with that. I've struggled just with comparison, comparing yourself. There's a lot of competition, people are doing their own thing, but comparing yourself, are you doing enough? Are you doing the right thing? Is quite hard as someone that's a founder, like entrepreneur. I'm sure lots of people relate to that.
So in your opinion, what steps do you need to take to go from having an audience to having a community?
I think to having a community, you need to be responding to what people need. So like I said, I had an audience at the start with Truly Twenties. I was just making relatable content that was funny and sometimes like inspirational. When I shifted to having a community, I think I was making them feel more with the content. I made the Panic Years video, which went viral on TikTok, and it was all around this feeling of panicking in your 20s, but people felt something from it, and everything doubled in size at that point. But I think people realized, like, having a feeling from a piece of content makes you feel part of something and part of a community. And then, like I said, I was doing the relatable content, realized people were lonely, and it wouldn't be a community if you weren't responding to their problems. And I had to start making retreats and events. I never saw myself in the events management space, but that's what a community needed. A community of 20-somethings, they needed connection, so you've got to respond to it. And then finally, I just say making sure it's a safe space. I'm very lucky that I've got really amazing followers. Every retreat I've done, there's never been a bad egg. Never been someone to upset people, and you've got to keep it like that, and where you can, so everyone feels safe to speak their thoughts freely.
Amazing. I remember I saw that Panic Years video, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is so relatable. So I know that would have been for so many other people.
Amazing.
So have you had a specific strategy to build up your community to across platforms like 350,000 people? That's a lot.
So you know what, I'm so bad with strategy. I've never had a strategy. I've sat down many a times to write down a strategy, but I'm just not a strategic person. I'm a creative ideas person. If I have a creative idea, I have to do it then and now. And that's just how I've rolled, I keep making creative ideas. I guess if I've had any sort of strategy, it's just to keep coming up with new creative ideas, and my creative ideas and consistency is where I've paid off. Those two things have been the only thing that I've seen growth with. I definitely need to get better at strategy, especially as monetizing and things like that. But so far, I've had good growth follower-wise with the community just by keeping refreshing the content, keeping like new ideas come in. And yeah, I'm more of an ideas person than a strategist. And that's definitely something I want to like improve on in like this founder journey.
And to finish up, what is your top piece of advice you'd give to someone wanting to build a community in 2024?
I'd say just do it. At the minute, I think a lot of people think there's too many podcasts, there's too many businesses, there's too many communities, like why should I make something? But there's so many people that follow me that follow so many other communities like mine. And people don't just follow one community. They can be part of multiple. You don't need to see people as competition because they'll join multiple things. They'll go to multiple different events. So yeah, you can have your own thing even if there's hundreds of others, and you might be the one that takes off and completely skyrockets above everyone else.
Never know.
You never know unless you try.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What a great way to end on. Thank you so much, Elle. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.